So, the topic of today is privacy coins, and I'm going to explore their relevance, the pros and cons of privacy coins. Are they really going to be the answer that we're looking for? And yeah, just generally, let's just look at them and see if they're going to give us the privacy we really want and really need. So firstly, what I'll do is I've got CoinGecko up here. And I was just going to find the privacy coins by category and have a look at the main ones so that then you can see what they are. And then we can go into some analysis of them. So just bear with me while I find them. Here we are, privacy. Okay. So hopefully you can all see my screen. So these are the top privacy coins by market capitalization or total value. And the leading one by quite a long way is Monero. Monero is a fork of Bitcoin. So a fork, when they fork a blockchain, they literally sort of create a duplicate. They basically create a duplicate of the original blockchain, which was Bitcoin, and then they tweak it up to their own design. So they basically just split it off and then they make some adjustments and changes. Because a lot of the people that were the early investors in Bitcoin were beginning to get a bit disillusioned about where it was going, and so they felt that this Monero would offer, true privacy. So that's how it came about. So it is basically based on a proof of work blockchain, which is what Bitcoin is. In other words, they need to be mined, externally mined, not you hear about mining in the cloud or mining online sort of thing, mining from your own computer, basically. Whereas these are mined by external computers and lots of them as well. So yeah, Monero is top, and then there's Zcash. I invested in Zcash many years ago when it was a lot more than $29. I've only got a couple of them, but I was very taken with the idea of Zcash in its early days. And yeah, it's kind of much like Monero, except it's a little bit more flexible. You've basically got a mechanism with Zcash where you can choose how private you want to have it, whereas Monero is basically, it is all about basically its default privacy, whereas Zcash wanted to make it a little bit more softer in some areas. A lot of these I don't know. I don't know much about Oasis Network. I've never heard of Baldex. Dash I have heard about. In fact, I have a couple of Dash as well from the early days. Mask Network, don't know that one. Decred, yes, I did also invest. Got a few of those from the early days as well. Nimble Wimble Coin, heard of that one? Funny name. Digibyte, yes, Digibyte is another Bitcoin spin-off, and I have heard about Digibyte. and it is much more geared to be a privacy coin that can do very fast, cheap payments. So they also were in the camp of disillusioned about where Bitcoin was going, and so they created Digibyte. And I know there's a lot of people that are very passionate about that token, but I haven't really delved into it deeply. There's a new one that I have just heard about from a guy called Aaron Day. Aaron Day has got a podcast, which is very, very interesting guy, super intelligent guy who is speaking out quite loudly and boldly about the CBDCs and loss of privacy. He is a big Monero advocate, as well as Zano. So I haven't yet delved into it, but it's definitely on my radar. So yeah, so that's definitely something that in fact, if we like, actually I'll just click on it and we'll just have a look at just basically some of the metrics. It's not obviously, it hasn't got a huge numbers. Its market capitalization is only 70 million, 69 million, and it's doing around $578,000 of trading in the last day, which is not too bad. And it's got $4.80 token price, so it's not a total micro cap or anything. And it's got a circulating supply of 14 million. Interestingly, they don't give the total supply, which to me is a bit disappointing because you want to really know what that is. It is notice here that it is based, it uses an Ethereum contract as well. So basically it could well be a fork of Ethereum or somehow associated with the Ethereum code in some way. I'm not quite sure how, but yeah, interesting. And then this is the website. We can have a quick look at it. I did have a quick look at it the other day, but I didn't really get a chance to really digest it. The thing is with this stuff is when you're looking at some of the stuff, you've got to understand some of the technical terminology can be very confusing. And yeah, we almost need to have a crypto dictionary in order to understand some of the terms. Yeah, and even now I'm still learning what they are. But as they say here, Zano is an open source cryptocurrency, which means that the code is completely open and public to anybody, which is a majorly important thing for decentralization. So that's very important, because why that is important is there's other developers who know their stuff can analyze the code, and then they can critique the code and go, wow, this is really going to be great. This is going to be great for privacy, or it's not going to be great. And so open source is great because other developers who know heaps more about this stuff than what we do can then give us a report on it. So that's important for transparency. And basically building a cryptocurrency and ecosystem, which is good, with enterprise grade privacy, security, and scalability that operates as a robust foundation for confidential assets and decentralized applications, which are also known as dApps. Your privacy matters. Choose Zano, the leading blockchain platform that prioritizes confidentiality and security. Yeah, the thing is with privacy coins, which I was always a bit I've always been a bit dubious about privacy coins because they're private to everybody, and maybe sometimes they sacrifice a bit of the transparency that we need. I mean, if it's private, it's great for us, but who else is using it for their privacy? And yet we don't know what they're up to or what they're doing. That point may be moot to a lot of people, as long as people might say, well, as long as I've got privacy, that's all that matters. And that's fair enough, because in this day and age, we do have to protect ourselves as well. But the larger picture that a lot of people miss is, it can be really private when you're operating on the Zano or Monero blockchain, but can you still use the token out in the real world and not lose your privacy? That to me is a much bigger question, because the token might be very private in its own blockchain, but what we really need is private ways to spend and use our money, and get access to point of sale systems, which are going to preserve our privacy at that end. And also the other exit point, other than using it, is obviously if you are sending it to, say you've been trading it and you want to take profit on it, then that is also can be in question, because you see, what the centralized controllers are trying to do is man the entry points and exit points. So to them, they can think, oh, well, people can be as private as they like or as decentralized as they like within their own microcosm, if you like, their micro ecosystem. But it's like being ring fenced in there unless you can actually do something with the token that serves your needs, i.e. pays you some money, or you can spend it, or you can earn from it, and basically still preserve the privacy when you're doing that. And so that is where I have to say, this development or evolution of crypto that's happening, that's a bit early to tell yet how that's going to fall. I think that's is the much bigger question. The much bigger picture is, what we really need is end-to-end decentralization. And so that's why I am looking at other projects that don't just have privacy around the token, but they have privacy all the way along the you could say the supply chain of it, the getting in and getting out. And so this is why we've got to find other entry points other than just going through, say, centralized stable coins. Obviously, CBDC will be a major gate for central banks. So we definitely want to avoid that. And I would say that a lot of the stable coins, they are going to be very regulated. So they will know, where you're, essentially they'll kind of they could tag you as you go in from there. So this is where we need to sort of start developing other steps along the path, which come from other routes, like very decentralized methods we can use, and go more of I could say a circuitous route rather than straight through the traditional channels. And that's both getting in and out. And ideally, if a decentralized platform or privacy platform is really starting to get big adoption, then they are going to be ripe for then bringing it to to the masses, and then where we can all participate in a privacy ecosystem rather than just on a privacy blockchain. So that's what I hope you get what I'm trying to say here. It's all well and good having privacy, but will that give us total privacy everywhere else along the chain? But this project, I already, from what I've seen, is going to provide some good options for us to at least explore. And you can download the wallet. So you can go to their website, zano.org. And if you want to go further, I suggest that you read the documents, read their white paper, which is here somewhere. I did see it. There's tons of information on here. You can get to research the team, who's behind it. Yeah, next week I'm going to be doing a full analysis on how to research our crypto and what to look for. And team is definitely one of them. Because you want them to be visible. You don't want anonymous team members. To me, is a problem. Even though I know that why they've been anonymous, because they don't want to reveal themselves also to the power that shouldn't be. But even so, yeah, they could still be visible. From our point of view, it still raises a question mark, basically. So yeah, so if you go to the home, I did see the white paper here somewhere. Anyway, it's probably just there. It's just probably in the documents if I go into here. Yeah, so you can read all about it in there. It doesn't actually give the white paper there, but it will be somewhere. And you've got all their community there, their social media channels. GitHub is where they store the code. That's where the open source code is available from. GitHub is like a developer's site where the developers congregate, and then they analyze the code and comment on it and all of that. That's good for them, and then they start revealing it to people like us. Yeah, so you can stake your tokens here. I see you can stake, you can mine, you can learn and use, build, mine, stake. So that would be good to analyze at another time. But if I have got time at the end, we can come back to this one, because it's one that stood out to me. And yep. So you've got to have their wallet to buy Zano. And I'm not sure. Oh, there's the white paper there. You can get the white paper off CoinGecko. But yeah, you also got to look at basically, how can you use it? And it's all well and good storing it in your wallet, but it's just no good just sitting there if you can't put it to work. Even if you're staking it, eventually, the tokens that you're earning, you still want to be able to use them. So yeah, and also the other thing I point out here is this wallet, the wallet for this. You won't find Zano on all the regular wallets that we talk about, like Exodus, Atomic. You will struggle to find it in those wallets. So you will have to get their own wallet for this. Or you got the contract code here, the contract, because it's on Ethereum, you copy this contract and then you can put it into MetaMask as a custom token. And because it's got an Ethereum-based code, MetaMask is an Ethereum-based wallet, and you can add the token there as a custom. That's also another thing you can do. And a lot of the other wallets, be fair, a lot of the other wallets also allow you to create custom tokens as long as you've got the contract address. That is the coin or the token signature. That's the signature of the token itself. It's not got anything to do with the wallet address. It's the token address. It's the token code. So that's what the contract is. That's how you can create the token off that code. So yeah, so that's Zano. Whoops, I'll just come back to that. Get out of there. Yeah, so basically, I'll go back to the main page again. Some of these tokens have been around for a while, like Verge, Secret is another one. Pirate Chain is another one that someone told me about. A friend of mine told me about that quite a few years ago. It's very, very private, but it was like you needed a PhD to be able to work it out. It was very complex. And back then, I didn't have enough knowledge or patience to figure it out. So Pirate Chain, or its ticker is called R, as in pirates. But they've got they have very passionate community members, some of these, but sometimes the token isn't very practical, and the price hasn't gone anywhere for basically a long time. And you've got very small, relatively small communities, but passionate. Yeah, so Dero is another one that has got a very strong, passionate community. That is also a token that's well worth looking at for privacy. And a lot of these others I don't really know. Beam, I know about Beam. Beam gets quite a good rap, but it's associated with Bitcoin. I think Beam is another Bitcoin-based token. Pretty much all of these other ones I've never heard of, or I don't know anything about. And to be fair, I think a lot of them won't go anywhere. You could well be buying these tokens and just doing your money. Because you scroll down, yeah, there's quite a few there. But yeah, so that's where you can go and research privacy tokens, is in the privacy category on CoinMarketCap. Now what I'll do is I'll go to this is one is actually Coin Bureau is actually one of the YouTube channels that I listen to a reasonable amount. The guy's name is Guy, and they are very good researchers, and I do like a lot of what they put out. And so I thought I'd go and use their website. I'm basically cheating a bit today, just kind of use their website as the basis of my presentation. So what they say here is that this is analyzing kind of privacy coins in general, and then they do a little bit of a drill down on what they say is the top, in their mind, the top 5 privacy coins of this year. So they say here, privacy coins use advanced cryptographic techniques to ensure transactions are confidential and user identities are protected. These are the pros of privacy coins. Users can maintain control over their data, choosing to share it selectively. By obscuring transaction details, privacy coins can enhance the overall security of user funds. All sounds all good stuff. As far as the cons go, privacy coins face significant regulatory challenges. They're definitely on the watch list of the regulators. No mistake about that. They are looking at privacy coins very closely. The anonymity provided by privacy coins can facilitate illicit activities, both from people, basically people, and from, the cabal, if you like, or the people who are also supposedly making the rules, also tend to have one rule for them, one rule for us. And we know that they are involved in a lot of illicit activities. There's no doubt about that. But anyway, that's what they see as the pros and cons, which I totally agree with. Then they say here, in today's digital age, privacy is as coveted as a rare collectible. Just like superheroes guard their secret identities, many of us wish our financial transactions could stay incognito. Enter privacy coins, the Batman of cryptocurrencies. Swooping in to protect your financial privacy from prying eyes. These digital currencies are designed to keep your transactions confidential. Imagine a world where every coffee you buy or every online purchase you make is visible to anyone who cares to look. It's like living in a reality show where your financial life is broadcast to the world. Privacy coins change that narrative. They use advanced tech-like zero-knowledge proofs, ring signatures, and stealth addresses to ensure your transactions remain your business only. In this review of the top privacy coins, we'll explore Monero, the undisputed champion of privacy, and others that offer things like flexible privacy options, enable privacy preserving smart contracts, are designed for scalable, confidential apps, and are known for speed and privacy. These features and cutting-edge technology is used to keep your financial dealings out of the spotlight. And while we mentioned Batman, how can we forget the Riddler? The dark side of privacy coins, which we also talk about, which is really good that they do that. However, before we begin, you'd do well to read our article where we explore the evolution of blockchain privacy, examining key innovations and their regulatory implications. The discussion covers the spectrum of privacy, from Bitcoin's pseudonymity to advanced privacy protocols that have sprung up since. Privacy coins are a specialized category of cryptocurrency designed with the primary objective of ensuring privacy and anonymity of users and their transactions. Unlike conventional cryptocurrencies, which offer only pseudonymity, privacy coins employ advanced cryptographic techniques to obscure transaction details, thereby enhancing the confidentiality of both the parties involved and the transaction amounts. So that's a lot more private than Bitcoin or pretty much any of the other tokens, that's for sure. Anonymity, privacy coins excel in concealing the identities behind transactions. By obfuscating sender and receiving details, these coins make it challenging to associate any particular transaction with a specific individual. This level of anonymity is crucial for users seeking to maintain their privacy in an increasingly transparent digital world. Untraceability. One of the standout features of privacy coins is their ability to make transactions untraceable. Unlike regular cryptocurrencies, privacy coins ensure that the transaction trail is hidden. This is achieved through various methods, making it nearly impossible for third parties to follow the flow of funds. Advanced cryptography. Privacy coins leverage cutting-edge cryptographic techniques to secure transaction data. Technologies like stealth addresses, ring signatures, and ZK SNARKs, that stands for zero knowledge, succinct, non-interactive arguments of knowledge. What a mouthful. Are commonly used. Stealth addresses generate a unique address for each transaction. Ring signatures combine multiple signatures to protect the sender's identity, and ZK SNARKs allow transactions to be verified without revealing sensitive information. It's interesting it's also good to point out that ZK SNARKs, that technology, just that specific technology is being integrated into a lot of other projects. A lot of projects are adopting ZK SNARKs for their own blockchain. They can like plug it in, if you like. They can mold that specific piece of technology for privacy into the larger landscape of other blockchains as well. So that's very good to note. This is the beauty of crypto landscape and blockchain, is they can take bits and pieces from certain blockchains that they like, and then they can create like modular design, modular blockchain using piecemeal kind of technologies, and then making it into a whole ecosystem. So I just want to point that out. So a lot of not so privacy coins can be made a lot more private just by employing some of this technology. So how do privacy coins work? Privacy coins employ a range of sophisticated cryptographic techniques to ensure the anonymity. They've pretty much gone over that. Here's an overview of some of the primary anonymatization techniques used by privacy coins. Zero knowledge proofs, specifically ZK SNARKs, enable one party to prove to another that they possess certain information without revealing the information itself. This method is extremely effective at concealing transaction details, offering high levels of privacy and security. The main downside is that ZK SNARKs are computationally intensive and require a trusted setup process, which can be a point of vulnerability. Ring signatures are used to combine multiple user signatures into a single transaction, thereby obscuring the real sender. Ring signatures are simpler than ZK SNARKs and do not require a trusted setup, making them easier to implement. They offer less robust anonymity guarantees compared to ZK SNARKs, as the size of the anonymity set can limit the effectiveness. Stealth addresses generate a unique one-time address for each transaction, even when multiple transactions are sent to the same recipient. This technique is very effective at hiding the recipient's address, enhancing privacy. While stealth addresses obscure recipient details, they do not conceal the transaction amounts or the sender's identity. Mixing or shuffling. involves combining multiple transactions together to obscure their origins and destinations. It's also good to know that there was a crypto mixer project. It's called, I think it was called Tumblr, and that guy is now in prison. And they put him away for quite a long time. So yeah, just thought I'd point that out. Mixing is relatively simple to implement and can effectively hide transaction origins. This method often relies on trusted third parties and does not provide as strong anonymity guarantees as other techniques. While privacy coins offer a secure and private transaction experience, they also face significant challenges, including increased regulatory scrutiny, which we kind of mentioned, potential vulnerabilities to future technological advances, such as quantum computing, which all the experts agree is at least 10 years away. So we've got plenty of time for that. And please don't make the mistake that quantum financial system or the QFS is using quantum computing. I believe that that is false, although there are a lot of people saying that it's using quantum computers. I've heard it from the horse's mouth of people who develop and work with these quantum computers. They said there's no way. There is a quantum-like effect in blockchain, but this actual quantum computing is still at least a decade away. And it's a very, very volatile technology. It's very, very challenging to implement into the real world. Also, this is something that I have also picked up is a big challenge is the lower liquidity and adoption compared to more established cryptos like Bitcoin. That is a major disadvantage. Is if you don't have enough people, you don't have enough liquidity. And if you don't have enough liquidity, you know, if the liquidity pool dries up, no transactions will happen. It's as simple as that. No one shows up to the party, there is no party. So yeah, we've got to bear that in mind as well. There's a trade-off here. There's always a trade-off. Pseudonymous versus anonymous. Understanding the difference between pseudonymous and anonymous transactions in the blockchain world is a bit like understanding the difference between wearing a mask at a masquerade ball and being a ghost. At a masquerade ball, everyone knows there's a person behind the mask. And with some effort, they might figure out who you are. But as a ghost, no one even knows you're there. Let's dive into this analogy to explore how blockchain technology fits in. That's a great analogy. Public addresses versus user identities. In the blockchain universe, every user is given a public address, a unique string of characters that acts like a digital postbox. This address is where cryptocurrencies are sent and received. Think of it as your anonymous masquerade mask. While this mask or address isn't directly linked to your real-world identity, it doesn't guarantee full privacy. But my view on that is if tons of us are doing regular transactions on the blockchain, well, they have not got the resources to check everyone. You imagine the amount of time it would take to analyze every code, and with literally trillions of transactions that are happening or will be happening. At the moment, it's billions, but it's going to be trillions. And how are they going to trace every single transaction and follow up and find out who we are? That's why they want digital ID and a CBDC and AI. If they combine AI with a centralized control of your money and your ID, that's how they will track you in real time. That's why we have to avoid that centralized system. It's very clear that at the moment, we are in a surveillance society now. We basically already have a central bank digital currency. It's called fiat. It's all digital. It's all created digitally. There is no cash printed anymore. Money is created digitally, and your bank account, you are being surveilled already. So I hope I'm not bursting your bubble, but I'm just going to break that to you. We're already in a surveillance state. What they're going to do is add a few more features to it. They want to go for the whole hog. They want to go for the whole shebang. So, we can't live in an illusion. We have to get real and open our eyes and know that where we are now and where they want to go and where we want to go. And then we can be more, we can create our strategy accordingly. So anonymity, so picture being a ghost at the same ball. No one can see you or trace your movements. In the world of blockchain, true anonymity means that your transactions can't be traced back to your real identity or even linked together. This is achieved through sophisticated cryptographic techniques that obscure the sender, recipient, and transaction amounts, rendering you invisible in the digital crowd. Blockchain analysis and real-world identities. Even though blockchains like Bitcoin are pseudonymous, it's possible to track transactions and potentially link them to real-world identities through blockchain analysis. And they have done this. There's a search engine on every blockchain. Well, most blockchains, except for a few that are completely off-grid. But those big ones, most of them that are out there that we're buying, they're basically trackable. They're certainly traceable by using the ETH. On Ether it's ETHScan, and then you've got BlockScan, and you've got all the different types of scanners. But again, what they have done is they can look to big transactions. They can see the big transactions quite easily. They can search by transaction amount. They get to know certain wallets. And then there's these super sleuth guys who are very, very, very savvy with the technology, who can then trace that wallet to somebody. And they have done this with politicians. They've done this with known dark op type operations and all sorts of things, as well as also drug money, human trafficking, the whole bit. So they are watching those transactions primarily at the moment. They're not watching our transactions as of now. So then they go on to say here that this process is akin to analyzing the movements of masked dancers to guess who they might be. For instance, if you slip up and reveal your mask or public address in a social media post or news article, it's game over. All your past and future transactions can be traced back to you. That's why it's crucial to practice good digital hygiene, just as you would keep your mask securely in place at the ball. Avoid sharing your public address publicly to maintain your pseudonymity. However, some privacy-focused coins like Monero and Zcash offer a much more secure solution. They use advanced cryptographic techniques to make tracing transactions a Herculean task. So now they go into the top tokens, and Monero is obviously at the top. Its ticker is XMR. It is the undisputed king of privacy-focused cryptos. Launched in 2014, it has established itself as the most private, secure, and untraceable digital currency available. Monero's advanced privacy features make it virtually impossible to trace transactions or connect them to individual users. Unlike other privacy coins offering optional anonymity, Monero mandates privacy protections for all transactions by default, solidifying its position as the premier choice for those seeking the utmost privacy in their digital transactions. So that's really good. Well, there's a little video here that we can play. It's only a minute long. Actually, I probably won't have time for that. I suggest if you want to research this more, you can go to this Coin Bureau site, coinbureau.com, and check out privacy tokens. I'm just going to sort of zip through a bit now and just give you the others. The Zcash, Zcash, they call it in America. Launched in 2016 by scientists from MIT, Johns Hopkins, and other prestigious institutions. Zcash was built on Bitcoin's original code base, but introduced advanced cryptographic techniques to enhance privacy. And then they use ZK snarks as well, and shielded and transparent transactions. The key difference is that privacy is not mandatory with Zcash. It gives the users the flexibility to choose between shielded and transparent transactions based on their needs, which is quite good. Self-funding mechanism. A portion of Zcash mining rewards is allocated to the fund and the development and maintenance of the network, ensuring continuous improvement and sustainability, which is pretty cool. Then you've got the Secret Network. It's a blockchain protocol designed to enable privacy preserving smart contracts, because the smart contract can also be a point of failure or a way to basically reveal our identity. So that's good. Launched in 2020, so it's quite recent. It allows developers to build decentralized applications, dApps, that can handle encrypted data, ensuring that both the input and the output of computations remains confidential. So you've got like secret smart contracts, private by default smart contracts. So that's very good. Yeah. Then you've got Oasis Network. It's been around a while as well. Another smart contract confidentiality project by the looks. And the network employs TEEs to safeguard data during computation. These environments act as secure enclaves that process data while keeping it hidden from node operators and other external entities. Another key feature is data tokenization. Oasis enables users to tokenize their data, maintaining control over their information while selectively sharing it. Users can earn rewards by staking their data with applications that wish to analyze it, introducing a new model of data monetization. Quite ingenious. Oasis also supports interoperability with other blockchains through the inter-blockchain communication protocol. This capability allows Oasis to integrate seamlessly with the broader Cosmos ecosystem and other blockchain networks. Dash, yeah, because of its privacy, I remember I bought Dash at the time because I thought I was quite interested in that. It is also, I think that is also a fork of Bitcoin, or it's modeled off Bitcoin. Yes, it was based on Bitcoin's code base, but has since evolved to include several unique features aimed at enhancing speed and privacy. It is super fast and super cheap, like a currency should be for Dash, and that's where they're trying to make it a truly private currency that's cheap and fast. Unfortunately, the price has not done well on a lot of these tokens. I won't go into all the nitty gritty there. And this, right. So, yeah, see here, Japan has outright banned privacy coins, like due to concerns over their potential misuse. South Korea exchanges cannot list privacy coins. United States, the US has not banned privacy coins, but has taken enforcement actions against privacy coin mixers like Tornado Cash. That was the company that was the guy that got arrested and put in jail. The European Union, the EU markets in crypto assets, MiCA regulation includes stricter requirements for privacy coins. Advocates argue that privacy is a fundamental right, which it absolutely is, and privacy coins are essential for protecting user anonymity. However, to adapt to the evolving regulatory landscape, privacy coins might need to implement optional privacy features rather than enforcing privacy by default. Cooperation with regulators to develop compliance frameworks and focusing on legitimate use cases could help privacy coins maintain their relevance while addressing regulatory concerns. The dark side of privacy coins. They have garnered a reputation for facilitating illegal activities. While they offer significant benefits of personal privacy, they also pose challenges for law enforcement and regulatory bodies. Privacy coins like Monero and Zcash are popular on darknet markets due to their enhanced privacy features. These coins make it difficult for authorities to trace transactions and identity parties. For instance, the sale of illegal drugs such as fentanyl on darknet markets is often conducted using privacy coins to obfuscate transaction trails. That definitely is a problem. So then they're offering here their closing thoughts. Privacy coins are a double-edged sword. They offer crucial privacy for legitimate users, but can also be misused by those with less noble intentions. Regulators are in a perpetual game of cat and mouse, trying to balance the scales between privacy and security. It's like trying to catch the Riddler in Gotham. Every time you think you've got him, he's already 3 steps ahead, leaving behind only cryptic clues. For the crypto community, the challenge is to innovate responsibly. This means developing privacy technologies that protect users while also incorporating safeguards to prevent misuse. As you venture further into the crypto world, remember that privacy is not just about hiding, it's about protecting your freedom and rights in a digital age where surveillance is becoming the norm. So whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just starting out, privacy coins offer a fascinating glimpse into the future of digital finance where your financial privacy is guarded. I totally agree with those closing thoughts. It is a double-edged sword, but also I would also add that like his analogy of the Riddler, we have to be a bit like the Riddler as well. And we have to, what I found is the more I understand crypto and the more I research some of these technologies, the more I realize that it's going to be like whack-a-mole for these regulators. It's going to be like mushrooms popping up on a field in the in our humid autumn time. You know how overnight all these mushrooms pop up, And this is what it's going to be a bit like for these governments and regulators. Just when they think they've got a handle on it and they've regulated a certain platform, they're going to find that the technology is going to keep evolving and keep advancing. And we, I believe, need to keep evolving and advancing with it, to stay relevant and keep a few steps ahead of that. Not necessarily make it into a whole, absorbing all your time and energy and getting. I see a lot of people that get very completely so focused on trying to be anonymous that they actually can't really function properly in their life, and they become obsessed, and you can become like very fear driven. And so I think we want to avoid that aspect of it. We're not here to be in fear of the man or that, really. What we're here is to be aware of what's going on and keep evolving in our knowledge, but also evolving in our spiritual side of things, because that will lead us to the obvious places. Like privacy and freedom is a human right. So we're not really demanding something that's really out of the ballpark here. We're asking for something that's one of our rights as a human being. And so with that in mind, and just sort of collaborating with other people who have the same value set and the same mindset, we can create our own ecosystem within the computers, within the technology that will serve our needs. I totally believe that we're just witnessing the final stages of a cabal that are basically going to fall on their own sword, but there still could well be a remnant of it, or will still survive, and there'll be a lot of people that will go that way. They will go down the centralized monetary route once the reset comes, but there'll be a whole bunch of us who will go in a different direction. And some of the projects that I've been looking at, there's a lot of development going on of how to make it a mass adoption type system, and avoid the gatekeepers, avoid the toll booths, if you like, because those toll booths, the centralized toll booths, could be where we get tripped up. I mean, we know now, just a simple example, just trying to get our crypto out of the bank and into a project is like pulling teeth, because we have to go through the bank gatekeepers and we're having to seek permission from them to use our money to put it into crypto, which is completely, it's not tenable. It's not viable. And so in the crash, though, that's coming, in the reset and the crash, the banks are going to lose a lot of relevance, and there's going to be a lot of other new technologies that are going to spring up like mushrooms that we can adopt and we can use. And so I believe we have to be like the school of fish. We just have to go where the good water is. We have to go where the food is, if you like, and we have to congregate there. Speaking of projects, I had a very, very good call last night with the Sovereign Bank. I know a lot of people have been asking me, well, so what do you think about the Sovereign Bank? There's been a bit of a split in the bit of a disagreement by one of the guys there, and he's sort of gone one way, but the actual technology that's behind it is still very strong, and they are developing an ecosystem that is going to help preserve our privacy, and they are working on providing the liquidity and all the other bells and whistles we need. And you can even earn while you learn, and you get a lot of privacy and all of that. So I've been significantly heartened by that. And so Whereas I won't rush out and say you should all jump into Sovereign Bank and it's all going to be hunky-dory. I'm cautiously optimistic, and I would like to, I'm going to keep an eye on it until, I'm going to start building my own presence there, and we can use them as a place to where I can promote DeFi freedom. We can create our own DApp there. We can create our own. We can have our own wallets in there, and we can literally send and receive money in their ecosystem without it coming out into the public domain. And there are so many other cool things I'm working on, like private trusts, and in fact, and the fact that they've got lawyers on it in El Salvador. See, El Salvador crypto is basically legal tender there, and anyone can create a digital crypto business perfectly legally. And the president of El Salvador has basically kicked out all the gangs and turned El Salvador into a very, very family-friendly, safe place. And he's building what he calls the Bitcoin City, and which I imagine will be other cryptos as well, not just Bitcoin, but he's very progressive in his outlook. So yeah, I just thought that is the type of thing we need, a full-blown ecosystem that gives us the decentralization that we need, and we can get access to our money, and we can earn in there as well, and we can save, and also along with our decentralized bank that we are also working on. I think that will make a great combo. Even just the decentralized bank on its own is going to be really, really groundbreaking. This is a banking service that's on the blockchain where we have the private keys, and we can spend and we can earn, and we can learn and we can invest and we can save all in one place, one-stop shop. So on that note, I am doing a special presentation on Friday at 4 o'clock. Everyone's had an email sent out, so you know about it. If you want to attend, I know a few of you are already in it. I know there's a few others that are looking at it, but I'll go fully into it because it is getting closer to full launch, and so that is exciting. So that's basically